Short and dumb, we're gonna keep this short and dumb, cause I don't like things that are long. Hey!
Hi, I'm Gigi, and if you know what punk rock is, you'll know what this is. This is The Clash, by The Clash. I've got the 1979 US release issued by Epic here. This is a classic landmark punk album, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Let's give it a spin. Side 1 opens strong with a punk classic, Clash City Rockers. I really like this song. It's fun, it's bouncy, it's aggressive, makes me miss mosh pits, that's for sure. I give it an 8 out of 10. So, I'm not going to say a lot about the second, third, and fourth tracks on this album. And that's because I don't like them very much. I think they're somewhat mediocre, especially for The Clash. They're either boring or they're full of elements that don't really seem to work all that well together. That's just my opinion. I give them a 6, a 4, and a 5 out of 10 respectively. Moving on. The fifth song on the first side is one of my favorite Clash tunes, White Riot. It's aggressive, it's in your face, it's got a bit of a mean edge. This is the kind of song that you lose teeth to, but you love the experience anyway. I can listen to it over and over again. I give it a 10 out of 10. White Man and Hammersmith Palais is really only remarkable to me as a song because it contains a number of elements that sound quite a bit like elements The Clash would later use with great success on a number of their crossover hits. On its own, however, I feel like this is a mediocre effort from The Clash, and I give the song 6 out of 10. London's Burning is a pretty solid punk tune about a subject that was widely covered in London punk music at the time. What's that subject, you ask? London sucks, so let's bitch about it. Like I said, pretty solid punk tune, 8 out of 10, and if I cover more Clash, you're definitely going to hear more songs like this because London sucks. The first side closes out with a cover of I Fought the Law, which I guess is an okay song, and I guess The Clash do an okay job of covering it, but okay is just okay. I give it a 6 out of 10. This song is interesting to put up next to the Dead Kennedys version, honestly, in my opinion, which is a much better cover of the song. But, you know, it's okay to disagree. So that's it for side 1. Let's move on to side 2. The first song on side 2 is another awesome punk tune, Janie Jones. I give this one 10 out of 10. It's a fast, aggressive, in-your-face punk song, and I love it. Career Opportunities is the second track on side 2, and it's an angry punk tune about not wanting to be forced into the box of, you know, being in the military or working behind a desk or whatever as an adult. It's another solid punk tune on this album, and it's another 10 out of 10. What's My Name is the third track on side 2, and it's another pretty decent track on this album. Not quite as much fun as the two that came before it. I give it a 9 out of 10, but it's still definitely worth a spin. Hate and War is the fourth track on the second side of the album, and it's where the second side's quality dips a little bit, in my opinion. I give it a 7 out of 10, which is still a pretty decent score. Now, why do I give it that score? Well, it's a little boring, especially for The Clash. But you know what? It does kind of remind me of some kind of like proto-pop punk, so there's that. We've come to my favorite song on the record, and possibly my favorite song by The Clash, period. Police and Thieves isn't aggressive, it's not in your face, it's not really like, you know, mosh pit material, but the groove is infectious. That bass line is amazing. All of the elements of this song just work together so perfectly, from the vocals to the kind of minimal, almost ska-like guitar. I just love this so much, and I could listen to it over and over again. 10 out of 10. The album closes with two pretty solid punk tunes, the first of which is Jail Guitar Doors. This song is, to me, London punk. Like, straight up. It's the attitude, the vocal style, the chord progression. Everything about this just screams London punk. I give it an 8 out of 10. The final song on the album, Garageland, is an album that actually holds a lot of meaning for The Clash. I encourage you to Google it and look at the Wikipedia article. It's pretty enlightening. Anyway, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's another solid London punk song, and I think it's a pretty fitting way to close out The Clash's debut album. Well, that was a pretty great album. That was The Clash by The Clash, the debut album from The Clash. So, taken individually, I give side 1 a 6 out of 10. I give side 2 a 9 out of 10. That means that one side is better, considerably better than the other, in my opinion. As a whole, I give this record 7.5 out of 10. That's a solid, decent record, in my opinion. If you like punk, you should definitely have this record in your collection. If you like rock music, definitely have this record in your collection. If you collect pop, this record is actually pretty significant as far as, I mean, yeah, it's punk, but this band had a lot of pop success later on, so why not add this to your collection? All in all, solid record. Pretty great. Anyway, this has been GG's Short and Dumb Media Review. I hope you liked what you enjoyed here. If you'd like to, you can subscribe and stuff. I think the button's over there. And there's probably going to be more, dumb stuff like this.